Welcome back, SoulsSpeedruns, to Souls Charity Marathon 2023. Super excited to present our next run. It's going to be a run of Hollow Knight. It's going to be an any percent run. And there's going to be not a single major glitch in this run. I'm your host, Carter aka, and I'm very proud to introduce our runner, Skate King. What's up, Skate?
Hey guys.
We also on commentary have Axel and Creed. What's going on, guys?
Hi, hello, welcome everyone.
Glad to be here.
What are we doing today? What's the plan?
Yeah, you did mention any percent, no major glitches. I hope we don't have any major glitches. Skate, try not to accidentally major glitch.
Don't cheat.
I'll do my best. Alright. Well.
If you're ready, I think we're ready to just get started.
Now, before we get started, I do have some news for you guys, which you may have picked up on earlier. And that is that we do have an incentive for this run. And that incentive was met. We actually destroyed it. We crushed it. Thank you to everybody who donated to our incentive. And that incentive is going to affect what you're going to be up to, Skate. In fact, you're going to have to save the grub.
Save the grub.
You got to save the grub. Don't let the grub die. You can't do it.
Hopefully
All right.
Are you normally a grub saver, or do you typically not save the grub?
I am, yeah, normally. I used to be a hater.
Oh.
Now.
Well, thanks to the incentive from chat, you get to live your dream.
There you go, yeah.
All right, guys, I think without further ado, we can get this show on the road. Commentators, do either of you want to do a countdown?
Sure.
Free? Go ahead.
Are you ready, Skate?
Yeah, so when you say go, I'll go into the cutscenes, and then I'll say when to start the timer once I skip them.
Okay. Well, in that case, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Alright, so there's 3 cutscenes to start out with. You can skip them pretty quickly on 1, 2, 2, 1. So timer will start now.
And we're off to the races.
At the beginning here, you have a pause. Then you can get early control really quickly. And then we saw there was an inventory drop. So what that does is it uncaps your fall speed. And so basically you start falling exponentially fast. So what you'll see later in the run is that the farther you're falling, the more worth it is to inventory drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the first you're seeing is just walking because we don't have movement. You have a nail attack, and also you have a soul meter, which allows you to heal or try to cast the spells. And when you hit the enemies, you refill that soul meter.
So the first thing we're going to want to do is make our way to the very first spell that we can use, which is Vengeful Spirit. We're going to be going down into the very first area of the game in Dirtmouth, and then we're going to fight the False Knight, which is our first boss, which I'm sure Skate will make quick work of. And after that, we'll have our first ability that should help us do our first sort of set of skips in the run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Skate now is jumping because this is like a city zone where your walking speed is very slow, so if you are in the air, your speed doesn't affect by that slowdown. And
I think
now
it's the only place in the entire game where that's true.
No, in the lamp shop also has.
Yeah, I guess there's like tiny little places.
Yeah.
That one's the main one, though.
So here he's going into an arena where you have to fight some aspids, and you can hit the aspids, but the cooler way to do it is to hit this spike that comes down from the ceiling, and 1 slash is all you need, and it kills both aspids very quickly.
Very
cool trick, yeah.
Yeah, and these following rooms is just walking to the right, try to don't stop, don't hit the walls.
Yeah, a big thing with this room is that I'm jumping a lot here, And so this is a very small time save. It's to avoid the H5 from getting killed. Because every time an enemy dies in this game, you get a little bit of freeze frames and it costs a little bit of time.
And I know
Yeah.
different speedrun games have different ways of measuring, how much time save we're looking at. This is about a 40-minute run, but the level of optimization we have in any percent is that fly killing itself on a GOM costs you like what 0.2 seconds, and
Yeah.
we care about that 0.2.
Yeah, also Hollow Knight uses the in-game time, so
Yeah.
without loads.
So what you're seeing now is a real timer. So this time will be much greater than what the actual world record has. So I am using, you can't see it, but I'm using a normal timer. So at the end of the game, I'll tell you what my time is and compared to the world record.
And here's False Knight. So I did say that this was our first boss fight. However, and this is a trick that is sort of built into the game, not one that speedrunners came up with. You can just sort of skip the fight. As long as you do the first stagger on False Knight, the game just kind of lets you leave. You don't get the Geo, which is a currency here for beating the boss, and you don't get the City Crest, which lets you enter the city, but we don't need either of those. So we're just going to leave the fight and head straight for that Vengeful Spirit spell.
Yeah, and now we are entering the mound where you get the first spell, which allows you to make a lot of damage. This will be the main source of damage. And also it allows you to enter a green path, which will be the next area.
And while Skate makes his way in Mound, I know there's some discussion going on about the difference between patches. Yes, this is on patch 1221 that Skate's playing on. In any percent, at least, it is the fastest patch to play on for a number of different reasons, but the main ones being that you can inventory drop in the air, the Dreamer cutscenes you get to skip.
You have lever skip.
Lever skips,
Yeah.
lever skips are a big one.
Yeah, the Baldur quick wheel that we will see in a moment.
Yeah,
Not this one.
There's a good
The other
time
one.
to talk about RNG if you guys want to.
yeah.
RNG.
I mean,
We don't
it's
have
certainly
RNG.
this game is not devoid of RNG for sure. There's a few different places where it comes more into effect, but honestly, I think pretty much every split we have in this game has some level of RNG, which mostly boils down to enemy positions or specifically enemy movement. And some of it's pretty minor, and some of it, like this Baldur, is pretty major, in which basically there's a 50% chance that the Baldur gives you an enemy or just a orange spit that you can't do anything with. And you want the enemy so that you can gain the soul to use your spells. And so you can see there, I can try to explain what happens. So normally there's a trick that you do there where you do your Vengeful Spirit into the side of the screen and it kills the Baldur off screen. In this case, it didn't quite work because Skate was really just 1 pixel off. But
Yeah.
fortunately, the Baldur gave a spit of an enemy, and that let Skate get an extra hit in to do another spell.
There's a really bad sour spot there. It's very small. It's like 1 or 2 pixels, and sometimes you get it. It's really annoying. It only gets 3 hits, so it doesn't fully kill the Baldur, but I got lucky there.
And so here you're going to get to see the use of the spell, not to do damage, but instead to actually skip a section of the room. This is what we call them fireball skips. And because the fireball basically halts your vertical fall speed, you get to reach this area, which normally you would need another ability to get to.
Yeah, and it pushes you a little bit behind.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the last one, the last fire skip. Also, in this run is very important the management of soul, because we are going to need to use the spells in some places.
Yeah, and you can see that soul meter in the top left. With a full soul meter, with the circle filled up, you get to do 3 fireballs. So we're making our way towards Green Path. We're trying to get to Hornet, and if you've been paying attention, you'll see her a few times on screen. But we're going to try to fight Hornet because that is going to give us our dash. And once we have dash, things are definitely going to speed up a little bit. No more walking and jumping, and in Skate's case, you know, throwing out nails in the middle of the air. Just so we're clear, doesn't save any time. Skate just likes to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now we are going to collect some geo, which is the money in this game. So we break those rogues and kill those guys. And now we are going to fight Hornet. Will give us the first movement ability, which will be the dash, and a very important one.
False Knight gives some people trouble when they're starting with the game, but Hornet is usually the big sort of choke point, and so you'll see that Skate really is not bothered by Hornet one bit. This is going to be quite sad for Hornet, and also really not even talking about like the Hornet fight for beginners. This was a really good fight for a speedrun.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah, very good fight.
Hey, what's your live split time for?
This run is like ahead of world record right now.
Oh, well, that's a pretty good start.
Record free.
Marathon world record, let's go. No pressure though.
I'm not getting it. World record in this game is so it's dumb.
Yeah, whoever set that world record really did a number on it.
I wonder who it was.
I wonder.
It's me, by the way. If anyone, it's.
So now you can see Skate has dash. So plenty of good horizontal movement, but we're still missing some vertical movement. And so the next place that Skate is going to go is to get the Mantis Claw, which is going to let the Knight do wall jump. And to get to Mantis Claw, normally you have to go through the Mantis Village and, you know, fight off, or in the case of a lot of speedruns, just sort of run past all of the Mantis. However, there is a trick we can do here to basically skip most of the Mantis Village, which involves pogoing an explosion to get to an area that you're not supposed to get to. So we'll be seeing that come up. I know some people are familiar with different versions of explosion pogo. The one Skate does is known as fire pogo. And it's very cool, and please enjoy it.
And very difficult.
So you'll see he uses I use a fireball to sort of stall in the air and then pogo the explosion that happens while the stall happens from the fireball. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, now he's doing the Mantis Pogo, which will save all the going around and just pick up the Mantis Claw. Also, he's doing the Mantis early control. Maybe that was... Oh, yeah.
You got it, it's fine.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, that's the early control, so you just keep all the instruction to how to use the skill.
Yeah, so missing that first day, lost a tiny bit of time. Not much at all, though.
It's over.
And, while we sort of make our way to Gruzmother, which is the next boss, this is mostly just movement. Carter, is there anything we want to talk about regarding the stream?
Yeah, I got all kinds of things to talk about. I know this is a very action-packed run, though, so I'll keep it quick. I have a donation from Nightmare King Grim. You guys may be familiar. He says, "You're not getting away from me that easily." And I'm assuming that that's a reference to our incentive for the later Hollow Knight run, which has an incentive to fight an optional boss. You can vote for Grim, you can vote for Perfect Vessel, and I believe there's a third one. So check out that incentive, and let's get an extra boss into that run.
All right, thank you, Carter. We are making our way to Gruzmother here. Gruzmother's a pretty simple boss. And in fact, it's in the first zone, so most people tend to fight it really early. But we actually go for Gruzmother pretty late because she's very out of the way compared to where we want to get to. And so we get our dash and our Mantis Claw first before fighting Gruzmother. There have been a lot of like route changes over the years as any percent has been optimized, and so this is sort of what we settled on is we get some of our movement first because that lets us sort of speed through the map, and then we go for our win condition, which in this case is Dream Nail.
Yeah. And now we are going to buy the only charm we're going to use in this run, which increases the damage of the spell and also increase the hitbox size. So it will allow us to just make more damage, and also will allow to make double hits with the spell easier.
And those of you who have played Hollow Knight before might be and are familiar with the charms might be wondering, why don't we use Fury of the Fallen, which gives you a ton of extra damage if you're at 1 HP. That does sound like the very speedrun thing to do, but actually it turns out that charms are even more powerful than just having Fury, and they give you the benefit of not having to be at 1 HP all the time.
So a lot just happened right there. Commentators, you wanna?
Yeah, so we picked up Claw, and that lets us wall jump, but now we're using a minor glitch, which is called wall cling storage. And what it basically lets us do is zoom in the air when the game thinks we're clinging to a wall. And the setup for doing this basically involves being 1 pixel away from a wall, accounting for certain subpixels. And so it's a very precise thing to do. And because of that, we only do it in a few places, but it's in places where we have very specific setups. And so Blue Lake is a very big, long room where nothing else happens. And so it's worth it to do a little bit of extra setup and get that walking storage, and then we get to zoom past the whole thing.
And the thing about that's different with a lot of places is that in water, most places to chain the walking storage, you have to do a frame perfect jump. But in water, it stores it naturally.
Now this is gonna be the platform section. It is like scary in a speedrun because if you fall, you miss a lot of time. Also, Skate did a very early dash before the platform appears.
Wow, Skate getting great Dreamplats RNG. That's a joke. There's no Dreamplats RNG. They're all in the same place every time, but it certainly does look that way because they just appear in front of you.
Yeah, but if you fell, it was RNG. You can say that.
Of course.
Yeah, so I fell at the beginning there, and it makes the little guy, the little bird, I don't know, the fly.
And the
It
moth.
makes their spawn.
The moth?
The moth.
How did you say
okay.
3 wrong things?
I don't know. I don't know the lore in this. Actually, I do. Okay, but
Okay.
the point is, I fell on purpose, and it makes it spawn about a second faster, I think.
Yeah. Also, Skate did a pause early control, so he just
really
got early
fun-looking
control.
animation.
Yeah, while was.
If you missed the walking storage earlier, here it comes again. You can see just how much Skate gets to move quickly because of that.
Yeah, that one's really cool. That one's probably my favorite, but it's really hard to get.
And we are now in City of Tears.
Yeah. To get that walking storage versus the other one, that one you have to do a frame perfect jump as soon as you hit the ground. So it's a lot more precise, whereas the other one is just a setup that you have to do.
So, if you are familiar with playing Hollow Knight, the next boss that we're going to is Watcher Knights. And Watcher Knights is typically, in a lot of people's first runs, a pretty hard choke point. And you usually come in with, or usually try to come back with a lot of nail upgrades, spells, movement, and Skate is going to go in with none of that. Skate is going to be fighting Watcher Knights with just the base fireball, 1 charm, and a wall jump and a dash.
Yeah, it's a very hard fight in a casual and also in any percent because of that. And top runners make it the fight very, very impressive to watch. So enjoy.
Yeah, even if it's if you are getting into speedrunning, any percent is generally regarded as a pretty hard category because of this fight. This is the fight that defines any percent as just like a difficult category to start learning.
I almost got lost in there.
Yeah. Also, Skate did a lever skip there. Which,
Yeah, that's one of those 1 to 2 exclusive things.
he hit the lever from from below, like
And
crossing
the game doesn't like you
the
doing
floor.
that, so it never shows you what's going on the right side. You just kind of have to navigate in the dark.
And also escape breaks the chandelier, so it kills one Watcher Knight, so you don't fight 6, you fight 5 now. And also there is a trick which you do a power fireballs to maximize your damage.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that happens in this fight is kind of like the peak of what any percent players have figured out for making this fight as optimal as possible. There's some very cool stuff in here if you pay attention and look out for just how much Skate maneuvers through the hitboxes of the nail hits, gets triple fireballs from taking advantage of rolls. All sorts of really cool things.
Yeah, when the Watcher Knight rolls, it can hit triples with the fireball. So it's like the best movement to make a lot of damage.
Not bad.
Yeah, that first pair went really well, I think.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
And then you miss one fireball.
Yeah. I meant to turn around on there, but it's okay.
How's your pace looking?
This is a 16:22. So about 7 seconds behind world record.
That's
which is
still pretty good.
Really
Nice.
good. Yeah, it's insane for a race.
So we defeated Watcher Knights. We get to collect the Dreamer. Again, the difference between 1.2.1 and the current patch is that you get to skip this cutscene that happens once you've absorbed the Dreamer, which is super nice.
Yeah, also the requirements to get the ending is to absorb these 3 Dreamers, and then you unlock the final boss. So this is the first one. And
So what you're gonna see here is I'm doing a quit out, and then I dream nail to get control of my character early. It saves about 0.3, very small time save, but very worth. There's another walkling storage.
nice.
So
Very cool.
I want to talk about charms, or sorry, relics. What do we call them in this game? Trinkets?
Yeah, relics.
Relics, yeah.
I keep calling them trinkets sometimes. So we've picked up 2 relics at this point. One was when we entered city, and then another one just now. And we're on our way to the 3rd relic. And the point of these relics is that we're going to sell them off to Lem, the shopkeeper, so we can get a lot of gold, or sorry, a lot of geo, and so that we can buy the lantern. And the Lumify lantern is going to let us, look inside of dark rooms, which is one of the ways we can enter Crystal Peaks, which normally there's one of 2 ways. Either that, or we get Descending Dive, and that's very out of the way for any percent to do. So instead we opt for getting a lot of geo.
Yeah. And now SK is going to do like the hardest raid in this round now, which is the rafter skip.
Nice.
And he gets it.
Nice.
He almost misses. I mean, he
Yeah.
almost.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, that was good. So
Yeah.
that was a reroute discovered about exactly a year ago.
Wow, who
By
discovered
me,
it?
it?
actually.
By Escape King.
So I discovered the reroute portion, and then Magma discovered that specific trick where you do the 2 fireball stall, and then it
And the
looks
rest
really
is
cool.
history.
Yeah,
And it's
it
very
saves
hard.
about. It's yeah, really difficult. It saves about 15 seconds over the old route we did, which is crazy because we haven't even had a reroute in like 4 years in this category.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I don't think we'll ever save 15 seconds in any percent ever again.
Yeah.
Although I'm happy to be proven wrong.
Oh, okay. So be careful here. Those are dumb hits.
Oh, try not to die.
Yeah.
That will be a shame.
Yeah, it would be.
Don't worry. No pressure.
Oh, we were just talking about you doing that jump, even if you don't get the airwalk. I was worried, Skate. I was worried.
I was not worried. This is
Skate movement.
It's all okay.
So yeah, Skate's in the clear now. He's gonna go pick up the Lumafly lantern and make his way to Crystal Peaks. Carter, do we wanna talk about the stream a little bit?
Sure. Just want to remind everybody, while we are having our minds blown by this incredible no major glitch run of Hollow Knight, that we are raising money for Save the Children. It's a really wonderful charity doing really valuable work in some of the most marginalized and disadvantaged communities around the world. Wars are fought by adults, but they destroy childhoods. And while help can feel impossible at times, our charity partner, Save the Children, focuses on what matters: children. And just $5, just a $5 donation, can provide treatment for a child with pneumonia or provide education supplies for a child so that they have the tools they need to get an education. They're doing really, really valuable work, and it's really, really great that we can support them doing this event. So let's get some donations in. Let's keep those incentives swelling, and let's continue on with this amazing run of Hollow Knight.
Thank you, Carter.
Thank you. Yeah, so now we are entering the Crystal Peaks, which is a very heavy movement zone in this speedrun. There are very cool rooms. And the first trick we're going to see, it's called the Pogax, where you do a pogo in the pickaxe that the miner throws. So you skip a little bit of the section.
And it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
And then the next room is actually very cycle dependent. And if you nail it just right, you can just barely dodge all of the cycles. Skate is not going to quite nail it, which is okay. But you can still dodge a lot between and make your way through this room very quickly.
It's still cool. Oh, got pixel. Yeah, there is a pixel where you jump between the laser and the guy who shoots it.
I think actually you jumped through it before the laser.
Yeah, I think it was a little before, but I mean,
Maybe.
regardless, I should have been in the right spot if it was shooting.
And speaking of laser cycles, this last room where you pick up the Crystal Heart ability, usually there's a big laser gauntlet. You have to take your time, try not to get hit. We don't really take our time here, because of course we don't. We just damage cycle the first laser, and then we just barrage through everything. And the cycles work out that you can do it just right, as long as you just keep going. And with that, we are going to pick up Crystal Heart, which is the final movement ability in the game that any percent picks up. So what you see is what you get. This is going to let us do a Crystal Dash, which is basically just an endless dash that lets us get over large gaps that the game presents to us to try to keep us from going to different areas. We also use it to get to areas that we're not even supposed to get to, which we'll talk about later. But for now, Skate is going to go fight Umu to unlock the second Dreamer.
Yeah. So you need to charge this C-Dash. So you have to know where to use it.
Oh no.
What?
Oh boy.
Oh,
Screwed.
okay. You got to skate.
Oh wow, you got to spit too.
Yeah.
Well, try not to die.
Yeah.
So I mentioned going through areas you're not supposed to. This is an acid skip. And normally you get an ability that lets you, swim in acid.
Yeah.
You can't do that here, but if you time your Crystal Dash just right off the wall, you can actually just go right over the acid. This one in particular is one of the easier ones, but there's actually a harder one that'll come up after Umu.
Yeah. The famous QGA. And now we are entering archives, where is Umu, and this is another working storage, maybe. We'll see.
Or not.
No. Okay.
I got all the other ones though, so I say I'm happy with it.
Yeah. And now with this boss, you can't damage until our friend Quirrell attacks it, so makes it vulnerable. In any percent, you will need 2 cycles to defeat it. So we'll see.
Yeah, there are other categories where you can get this thing in one cycle with, more powerful spells. For For any percent, it's just not worth it upgrading your spells that much just to get Umu down into a 1 cycle. And likewise, it's worth it to go buy Shaman Stone, for example, at Salubra, just so that we can get the 2 cycle here. So there's always this value proposition on how much damage you want to do for how much time, and this is sort of where it's gotten settled.
Also, important thing, I don't know if we mentioned it, with Dream Nail, the enemies, you get soul.
That wasn't close at all. Not close at
nice.
all.
Okay.
So,
And now this is
Sorry.
this is another working storage, which saves, instead of C-dash across that acid, you just use the working storage. And now we get the second dreamer.
Well, you
So
want to
that
get the
cycle
Yeah, go ahead.
is you have to get every nail and every fireball exactly perfect. So each cycle does exactly 150 damage. So if you miss anything, you will not get the cycle.
Yeah, it's very precise, which is why, you saw Skate doing these damage tanks so that he could optimize exactly how close he could be to Umu and fireball as early as possible. To give
Also the acid dunk, so he appears in the middle of the platform.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird movement manipulation you gotta do to Umu just to get that cycle right.
Yeah.
And Umu is a lot of RNG as well. So it's not really anything you can react to like the other bosses. Like say another boss gives you bad RNG, you can just react to it. This boss, you get bad RNG, you just lose time. There's nothing you can do about it. So it's really annoying sometimes. You're on a good run, you just lose 8 seconds to nothing. But that's how this game goes sometimes.
Okay, so now we need to make our way to the last streamer, which is all the way over in Beasten. There's a few different ways to get to Beasten. One is that you could go down into Mantis Village, which takes a long time and you have to fight a boss. That's just not worth it. The other one is going through not Fog Canyon, Fungal Wastes, which kind of works, but it's kind of long. This time we're going to go through Queen's Gardens, but that involves doing this really precise acid skip, which Skate nails on the first try. We love to see that.
First try.
And so this is the fastest route. It does involve that risky acid skip, but as long as you can get it first try, we're going to go through Queen's Gardens, which is not very many rooms. You just have to go through this arena real quick. Ideally, you want to hit these Petras with a single fireball that doubles. That didn't quite happen with the first one, but Skate was able to clean it up on that second cycle.
Yeah, very good save there. Yeah, if you make a mistake in that arena, it can go very wrong. But the Skate saved that very quickly, very smooth. So nice. And this is the Petra Gauntlet with these platforms that disappears when you stand in it. And this is the entry to Deepness, where is the last streamer.
And the other benefit of picking up the lantern that we use to get into Crystal Peaks is that you can actually see in here. Because otherwise this would be very dark.
Yeah, like pitch black.
Not that would stop you, Skate.
Yeah, but it's very nice.
I think this is a good moment to see if we save the graph. Or not.
We did in fact save the grub, so
okay.
The grub that we are referring to here is going to be in Hera's Beast Den, which Skate is making his way into now. There's one grub in particular, I think it's the only grub in the whole game that any percent actually gets anywhere near. And if you don't save the grub, it makes a really sad sound that says, "Why didn't you save me?"
Very sad.
And personally, I like hearing that sound, but if you don't, then you want to save the grub, and then the grub is happy.
So we will be doing a fairly new strat here. We do a quit out. So you see how I'm on 3 HP here? Once we do the quit out, we will be on 5 HP.
Yeah, and then we are going to do a devout skip, which we skip the first big enemy, like doing a damage tank and going above him.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
that's the whole reason we need the health, is because we're doing a lot of damage tanks here.
Yeah.
The devout skip is fairly precise. The devout is intended to be basically the height of the corridor. But in the place where the devout spawns, there's a tiny little bit of pixel that you can squeeze right above the devout, and that's exactly what Skate does.
Nice. I wonder who discovered that.
I wonder who did it. It was Axel. Thank you, Axel.
I mean, it was Magma too with the final strat.
It was
Here's
indeed.
the grub. There you go,
Yeah.
grub.
Yay!
No.
No.
I mean, yeah.
And now we are making our way to the final Dreamer, which is our final checkpoint needed to be able to fight the final boss of the game, the Hollow Knight. With this, the run is basically, I think this is the point in any percent where most runners get to breathe a sigh of relief, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was
D-Stan
from
is-
here on out. It's like you just sort of put your run in the hands of the Hollow Knight.
In THK RNG. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we are going to expect a lot of dashes because it allows you to make double hits in THK, the Hollow Knight.
Yeah. So you really want dashes on THK. This run is actually on pace to be a 31, so
Wow.
Nice.
we'll see if we can
Very
do
good.
it.
A time thought impossible only a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was only a year and a half ago everybody like said that this time was impossible, and now it might happen in a race.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about THK to prep us for the fight. THK typically has 3 phases. The first phase, THK only does, for the most part, 3 attacks. The dash, which we can get a double fireball on, we love seeing those. A 3/ attack, which is okay, it's fine. And then a parry, which is terrible because
The worst one.
you can't attack a parry. You can't do any damage. You basically have to wait it out, and that's just wasting time.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna really hope for no parries. Let's pray to THK, no parries, lots of dashes. And then in the second phase, what we like to see is called a fountain attack, where THK sort of goes up in the air and does all of these spit fountains. And in any percent, we found a nice area that you can sort of sit in and do a lot of fireballs and a lot of damage without taking too much risk. So we want to see that in the second phase. And then finally in the third phase, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to do there. It's very minor attacks, but you want to skip the transition from the second to the third phase in a scream skip. And if you take damage in just the right spot, you can do that. So those are sort of the 3 things we're looking for in this fight.
I saw somebody say that sub 30 will happen eventually. Sub 31 might not happen eventually, actually, unless there's a reroute and a lot of skip save, because the world record now is almost like perfect RNG in incredibly good execution. So 31,
Just get perfect
sub
RNG.
31, yeah, sub 31 might happen one day, but sub 30 without a big reroute is a definite no.
So far, so good. We haven't seen any parries yet.
A dash.
A
Nice.
few
Another
dashes, a
dash.
few nail attacks. This is pretty good.
Oh. Yeah.
And again, you know, normally you get to this THK fight, you have a lot of abilities. You've got all your spells. No, we're just going in here with just our fireball spell and just the no double jump. But that is not a problem for Skate here. So we're on to the second phase now. Getting some bouncing attacks.
Yeah, and while
I-
THK is self-stabbing, it doesn't receive the normal damage. It just receives one damage.
So I don't think we're gonna get a fountain here, which is fine. We did get the scream skip, which we love to see, and we're gonna be wrapping this run up very quickly, well within the estimated time, and hopefully getting a 31.
It will be a 32:05, so just barely missing
You
it.
disappoint disappointed us for the last time.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
GG. GG.
GG.
And that's it. Now you are the Hollow Knight.
There we go. Wait, it's a 3154. Oh.
Oh,
What?
I think you
Oh my
missed
God.
it.
How did you miss
Wait,
by
I
so
counted-
much?
I counted 35, not 25. Wow, okay. So
Okay.
this is the fastest time ever done in a showcase or a race ever, which is really cool.
Congratulations.
Just
Thank
flexing.
you.
Reverse clickbait, yeah.
Yeah, that Hollow Knight
Look.
fight was a 135. It was really good.
Lowering the
Okay.
expectation.
And for reference, the fastest Hollow Knight fight that anyone has done is a 129. So 6 seconds is a very good delta for a fight that's mostly RNG.
Yeah. Not a mathematician, but surely it's great. I don't know why I counted 35.
All right, great run. Amazing commentary, amazing run. Is that actually the very first 31 that there's been in a marathon?
Second, the first 31 ever that actually happened was done in a marathon one time, which is actually really funny. And so that was a 31:56, and nobody has beaten that.
Yeah, in the
There we
tournament.
are. Yeah, in the tournament.
Yeah, I feel bad for whoever was racing against that guy.
I think it was Creed. I'm not sure.
It was me. But this is definitely the fastest race that, or the fastest run that's happened on a showcase or a race since then. So good job, Skate.
Yeah,
Thank you.
pretty good job.
Thank you. Final in-game time was 31:54, so 30 seconds off of world record.
Woo. If you did enjoy this Hollow Knight gameplay, there's more coming up soon. There is going to be a Hollow Knight rando in a couple hours, but I think there is a couple more stuff going on before then, Carter. Is that right?
That's right. Coming up after this, we're going to have a very special run. Carl Germ is going to play Quickie World. And to be honest, I have no idea what that is. It's going to be a learning experience for everyone,
Me
except
neither.
maybe Carl. Although maybe he doesn't know what it is either. I don't know. We're going to find out. You got to stick around for this kind of thing. Any final thoughts, thank yous, comments from runner, commentator? You guys want to say anything else before we cut to intermission?
Thank you for having us. It was really fun.
Yeah, had a great time. Thanks everyone who came by to watch.
Yeah, I hope you
okay.
enjoy the run and the commentary.
Yeah. And thank you guys for coming in with the great run and commentary and donating your time and your skills to support this awesome cause and hang out with this great community. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Don't forget to donate.
Bye-bye.
All right. How about that Hollow Knight run, chat? That's such a exciting category that no major glitches run. I've been watching it develop a little bit over the years, off and on, and it's just crazy to see that level of execution, like just that level of mastery of the game, the movement, knowing where all the enemies are going, making boss fights that took me a million tries take less than a minute. That's what it's all about. Thanks again to Skate and the commentators for that amazing run. And we have more. We have so many more amazing runs coming up, chat. We're just getting started here at Souls Charity Marathon 2023. And the only thing more amazing than these runs and these runners is that it's all for a good cause. We are here supporting Save the Children. You know, 1 in 6, which is really wild to think about. 1 out of every 6 children worldwide are out of school. I mean, and I'm sure most of us went through an education and just thought it was completely normal. But if you put every child on Earth in a room, 1 out of every 6 is missing out on that critical learning. Education gives children the tools to help fight poverty and diseases, and every child deserves a chance at an education to secure their future. And you, chat, can help give children an education and a future by donating during this Speed Souls charity marathon. Save the Children has been around for over 100 years, and what I think is really great and really amazing about this charity partner is that they've been around for so long and they have such an efficient network that just a little bit of money they're able to use it to make a really, really huge difference. Just $20. If you donate $20, that's enough to buy a kitchen set for a refugee family who's lost everything. $25? Just $25 is enough for Save the Children to help train a survivor of human trafficking, one of the worst ordeals somebody can undergo, to become a peer educator for other vulnerable girls worldwide. It's really amazing what they can do. And going back to education, $50. For every $50 that you donated, and by the way, we've already raised over $3,000. And just $50 is enough to pay for an entire village to attend school in a country like Uganda. And that includes the cost of teacher training, teacher's salary, supplies, and the curriculum. It really is incredible what Save the Children is able to do with our donations. And it's really cool to have so many people from so many different communities all together here at the end of the year, donating their time and their skills to blow our minds with speedrun mastery and raise money to make such an important difference for people all over the world. So, let's keep those donations coming. We'll keep the runs coming. And coming up soon, we're going to have Quickie World, the one, the only, my friend, everyone's friend, Carl Germ, what a legend, is going to play Quickie World. And again, I'm being completely honest when I say I have no idea what that is. We're just going to have to wait and see. And that's coming up very soon, chat. Yeah. Yeah, chat. So much love for Carl in chat already. Oh my gosh. Well deserved. Well deserved. Carl's going to play Quickie World, and he's going to win. Coming up very soon on Souls Charity Marathon 2023. Stick around. Going to be just a few minutes. We'll get you in there.